If you've ever been at a loss for words when it comes to striking up a conversation with a woman and seen the opportunity slip away, this video will change that. Today, I'm going to show you 4 simple techniques that start conversations and increase your chances of taking the interaction to the next level. The truth is that most men go wrong by trying to be perfect or overly polite, when what really works is flirting from the start, in a light and fun way. If you're ready to get out of the friend zone and create attraction straight away, stick with me to the end, because these techniques are straightforward and easy to apply. First technique, absurd answers. Absurd answers are a powerful tool for injecting humor and relaxation into the first few minutes of a conversation, creating a light atmosphere that makes flirting easier. When a woman asks a typical question such as, "What do you do for a living?" most men respond in a serious and predictable way, which doesn't create an emotional impact or make the conversation memorable. But instead of taking the safe route, imagine surprising her with an answer like, "I'm a software engineer during the day, but at night I fight crime. If you're ever in trouble, just call me." This kind of response provokes immediate smiles and completely changes the dynamic of the conversation, creating a sense of playfulness and spontaneity that automatically sets the man apart from most. Unexpected humor acts as a catalyst that breaks down the initial barrier, dissolving any tension and opening up space for a more fluid and natural flirtation. However, the real differential of this technique lies in the ability to expand the absurd response, prolonging the interaction and building a progressive connection based on laughter and teasing. Instead of letting the joke die there, a natural continuation could be, "But there's one detail. My superpowers only work if we hold hands for more than 5 seconds. You can try it." This kind of follow-up introduces physical touch in a subtle and amusing way, without seeming invasive, turning contact into a natural part of the game. By involving touch as part of the humor, the man eliminates the discomfort associated with the initial physical contact, creating a natural bridge to heighten attraction. The absurd humor also allows for the use of phrases that flirt indirectly, such as, "The only risk is that you'll fall in love with the hero before I save the day." It happens all the time. Here, self-confidence mixes with playful flirting, removing any trace of arrogance, and on the contrary, inviting the woman to join in. The exchange of light teasing is one of the best ways to build positive tension, making the moment more dynamic and less predictable. In addition, playing with her imagination further amplifies the impact. "I promise to use my powers for good, or at least to make sure we don't leave without laughing a lot today." This phrase creates a mental hook that insinuates that the interaction has the potential to last, planting the idea of a possible extension of the conversation or meeting. Playful questions can also extend the fun and tap into her creative side, such as, "If you had a superpower, what would it be? And more importantly, would you use it for good or for chaos?" This slight transition into the imaginative field encourages the woman to participate actively, creating a relaxed scenario where she doesn't feel the pressure of having to answer correctly, which lowers defenses and deepens engagement. To complement the technique, a purposeful exaggeration such as, "If I had to guess your superpower, I'd say you have the gift of making guys trip over their own tongues when they get close to you. Am I right?" works as a compliment in disguise, extolling her charm without sounding sycophantic. The key here is to balance confidence with a dash of self-irony, making it clear that it's all part of the game. Incorporating physical actions such as, "But hey, I can only use my powers if we clasp hands, like a secret touch. Let's test it out," also adds a layer of closeness, and the quick contact, however brief, helps to create a subconscious feeling of intimacy and chemistry. To end the game in an engaging way, a phrase like, "Wait, what if I fail in my superhero mission?" "Do you promise not to tell the world?" introduces an element of complicity, creating a sense of a shared secret between the two, which strengthens the connection and builds a bond, however symbolic. The strength of this approach lies in its lightness and relaxed pace, dispelling any heavy or formal atmosphere and making it clear that the interaction is about fun and attraction, without unnecessary pressure or expectations. Second technique, let me guess. The let me guess technique is an effective way of turning a predictable conversation into something memorable and seductive. When a man starts an interaction, he often resorts to standard questions like, "Where are you from?" or "What do you do for a living?" Although these questions have their value, the problem arises when the conversation becomes robotic and devoid of emotion, leaving the impression that he is conducting a job interview, and nobody wants that in a flirtation. The lack of lightness and surprise can quickly cause her interest to wane. This is where the let me guess technique comes into play. Instead of waiting for a simple answer, the man innovates with an amusing and exaggerated assumption. For example, when he asks, "Where are you from?" he immediately adds, "Wait, let me guess. You look like you live in Los Angeles, love matcha, and probably do yoga at 6 a.m. This approach instantly changes the tone of the conversation, making it playful, intriguing, and unexpected, creating a more relaxed connection and encouraging the woman to play along, correcting or laughing at the assumption. To intensify the impact, a fun bet can be inserted, such as, "If I get it right, you owe me a drink. If I'm wrong, I'll pay for the first one." Fair enough, right? Creating a competitive and seductive element, opening up the possibility of a future date. Another way to heighten the flirtation is to subtly add a physical touch. "If I get it right, let me see your hand. They say you can guess everything around here." This approach generates closeness without being invasive, making physical contact natural and comfortable. To amplify the mystery and the provocative tone, phrases like, "But I'm good at this, so be prepared. I may end up discovering things you didn't want to reveal so quickly," create a light and irresistible sexual tension, arousing curiosity. Playful stereotypes such as, "Wait, I'm pretty sure you're the type who collects crystals at home and charts your friends. Am I right?" Keep the conversation fun, fueling the exchange of laughter and relaxation. The technique also allows for a higher level of betting. "Okay, since you're letting me guess, if I get it right 3 times in a row, you'll have coffee with me. But if I get them all wrong, I promise I'll be the one to pay." Turning the flirting game into an indirect invitation. Finally, unexpected teases like, "If I get it right, I think you'll have to stop smiling like that, because it's getting hard to concentrate." Take the flirting to a more direct level, mixing sincere praise with humor in an engaging way. However, the real secret to the success of this technique lies in the delivery. A genuine smile, firm eye contact, and a relaxed posture amplify the effect of each phrase, creating an atmosphere that exudes confidence and fun, taking the interaction to a more intimate and captivating level. Third technique, playful disqualification. Playful disqualification is one of the most powerful ways of generating attraction in a light and fun way, creating a game that keeps the conversation engaging and instigates interest in a natural way. Rather than taking the obvious route of complimenting or agreeing with everything a woman says, this technique allows you to tease in a subtle way, turning small differences or preferences into a fun problem that needs to be solved. For example, if she reveals that she prefers tea to coffee, most men would try to find common ground to impress her. But by using playful disqualification, you take on the opposite role. "Do you prefer tea?" "Ah, I don't know if we can continue with this. I was starting to like you." This approach not only provokes immediate laughter, but also breaks any tension, setting a light and relaxed flirtatious tone. The secret is that, At the same time as you play on a harmless flaw, you subtly signal that there is interest behind the teasing without appearing desperate or overly available. This creates an intriguing dynamic that grabs her attention and makes the mood more spontaneous. The masterstroke is to expand this technique to create closeness and open doors for future encounters. The response could be followed by a disguised invitation, but I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself. Only if you promise to show me your favorite tea one day. In a light-hearted way, this phrase plants the idea of a possible date without sounding like a direct invitation, making her feel comfortable and interested. The joke can be deepened with a more physical provocation, such as, "Maybe I need to try this in person, but if you make a mistake, I'll steal a sip of yours just to check." This not only introduces indirect contact, but also creates the idea of sharing something, suggesting intimacy in a natural way. In addition, you can add an element of mystery, giving the conversation an air of challenge. But look, people who prefer tea often have a mysterious side. I'm starting to think you might be a problem, the kind that's worth it. This kind of phrase piques her curiosity, encouraging her to want to prove you wrong, which keeps the interaction at a subtle and stimulating level of play. Playful disqualification works so well because it establishes an almost rejection dynamic where the tension created is balanced by the implied flirtation, leaving her intrigued. To maximize the impact, you can invert the joke. "Well, since you're on the tea team, I'll have to make up for it by being more interesting than usual. I think I can manage. Here, you not only keep it light, but show confidence by setting yourself up as the prize, subtly turning the tables." Creating small competitions also reinforces this idea, such as, "I think we can solve this with a drinks challenge. If your tea is good enough, I'll reconsider. If not, well, then I'll choose coffee next time." The spirit of light-hearted competition brings out her natural desire to win, making the interaction even more fun. Exaggerating the drama is also a powerful tool, using phrases like, "You know what's worse? I feel like I'm going to end up liking you, even with this serious flaw in my taste for booze. My heart is on the line here." This reinforces the self-deprecating humor and relaxes the atmosphere even more, allowing her to laugh and join in the banter without feeling that the conversation needs to end immediately. To extend the interaction even further, you can let the joke evolve. "But look, if you convince me that tea really is better, I promise to think twice before I judge." This phrase reverses the role, making her feel that she needs to impress you, which changes the balance of the conversation, leaving her more invested in the interaction. If you want to keep the game going, turn the game into a series of small provocations. "Now that I know you prefer tea, is there anything else that can finish off what we have here?" This creates an endless line of fun conversations and keeps the vibe playful without the subject running out quickly. And to finish, a pinch of sincerity strikes the perfect balance between playfulness and genuine flirtation. Jokes aside, I might even change my mind about tea depending on the company. This phrase, said in a relaxed way, lightens the weight of the teasing game, introducing a more authentic layer to the conversation. The mix of fun and sincerity creates the ideal tone to make the woman comfortable and curious, while you maintain control of the interaction. Fourth technique, the love warning. The love warning is a powerful technique that combines self-confidence, humor, and flirting, creating an irresistible and relaxed atmosphere. Rather than trying to impress with direct compliments or obvious conversation, this approach playfully suggests that attraction is already happening, and what's better, effortlessly. The beauty of this technique lies in reversing the roles. You plant the idea that she is falling in love while maintaining control of the interaction in a fun and seductive way. Imagine that the conversation is flowing, laughter is happening, and chemistry is being established. At that moment, instead of following the conventional rhythm, you let loose with a confident smile. Just a warning. If you keep talking to me for too long, you'll end up falling in love with me. The immediate effect is to break up the monotony, generating laughter or a playful challenge, both of which keep the conversation lively and interesting. The secret to maximizing the impact lies in the delivery. Look them in the eye, smile lightly, and give the impression that, in fact, this is an inevitable possibility. To make this technique even more engaging, add subtle physical touches that reinforce the flirtation in a natural way. For example, "But if that happens, it's not my fault. They say the secret lies in my touch, dangerous but irresistible." By saying this, a light touch on her shoulder or hand creates closeness without seeming invasive. It's a fun way to introduce physical contact without forcing the situation. If her response is giggly or teasing, this indicates that the physical connection is developing naturally. Another variation is to take the joke to a more intimate and provocative level. "But don't worry, I'm a gentleman. I only steal kisses if you blink more than 3 times in a row." This kind of humor turns flirting into a light-hearted game, letting the sexual tension hang in the air in a relaxed way. If she jokes about winking on purpose or continues the game, you know the conversation is on the right track. Another approach is to use her own laughter as an excuse to intensify the mood. "If you keep laughing like that, I might confuse everything and think we're already on a date. Better slow down." This line suggests that the conversation is already at the level of a real date, which changes her perception of what's going on. If she joins in, you can add, "Now that it feels like a date, I think we missed dinner or a drink." This paves the way for a casual invitation without sounding direct or formal, making it clear that the idea of meeting is already circulating in the conversation. To make the love warning even more powerful, you can reverse the provocation. "But I understand. It happens all the time. People usually fall in love with me within 15 minutes. I'm surprised you've lasted this long." This phrase raises the confidence level without sounding arrogant, as it is said in jest. At the same time, it creates a light-hearted challenge, instilling in her the desire to prove that she won't fall so easily, keeping her engaged in the interaction. Another fun way to keep the flirting going is to issue a challenge with a fictitious time limit. "I'll give you 10 minutes to try not to fall in love, but be warned, I'm competitive." This line turns flirting into a game, activating her competitive side and making the conversation more lively and engaging. The trick is to make the interaction seem like a constant challenge, where she has to resist your charm. To add a touch of exclusivity, you can play on the idea that she's joining a select group. "If you keep laughing like that, I'm going to have to put you on the list of people I let fall in love. It's an exclusive list, huh?" This mixes humor and the feeling that she is standing out, which generates an unconscious feeling of wanting to be part of that list. To extend the interaction and create physical closeness, use simple, friendly gestures. But seriously, they say the best way to prevent this is a touch of the hands. "Come here, let's prevent this problem." This small gesture brings physical touch into the conversation without pressure, facilitating future closeness. If the energy exchange is intense, you can turn the joke into a real invitation. "Since I warned you, I think there's only one way to solve it. We need to meet up just to see if it's true." The beauty of this approach is that the invitation sounds light and fun, disguised as a test or experiment, which removes any pressure. In the end, the essence of love warning is to tease, challenge, and flirt without taking itself too seriously. This combination of humor, light touches, and confidence creates an environment where attraction grows naturally and irresistibly, leaving the woman curious and willing to prolong the interaction. Now that you have these 4 phrases in hand, you're ready to start conversations that can really take you further. Remember, the key is confidence and humor, without trying to impress too much. Test these lines, adapt them to your style, and see how they change the game. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. If these tips made sense, leave a like and subscribe for more straightforward content. Comment down here which technique you're going to use first, and I'll see you in the next video.